Dara oya da ki, dara oya da ki. Coming in through center, please. Dara kokosha i. And let's clear through the fields. Takaya cho anoya da ki, clearing through center. Dara oya. So we're starting to take a more proactive or more in control perspective to the energy fields. Atoko kosha ai tada oshashishaya. Normally as we come in, it's about seeing what's here, understanding it, toroho kosha i, bringing awareness and light here. And yet this time it feels like atoko kosha i, as we come in, it's not about let's just see what's here. Let's also come in with intention. Let's also come in with our own wisdom, our own insight, our own strength, which is really a sense of being secure in one's own energy, one's own power, that no matter what we find here, we have a better feeling of how we want things to feel and be. And this does speak to these leader type wisdom energies, in this transmutation process now, that we are in. So overall, what I'm seeing too is that this period of time where we see what is, allow it to be, and then through that conscious awareness, shift it out, is coming to an end. It is now about coming in with this more refined knowing and presence. So it's leader type energy, but it's about sort of your energy precedes you. If you have this aura or this glow or this feeling that surrounds you, it's like before you even walk into the room, that energy is there in front of you. People can feel that presence before your physical body even arrives. That's the sort of intention we're talking about. Your field is so expanded and strong. And this isn't about strong in a controlling way. This is about strong as in, I know who I am. I am comfortable in my own energy. I understand my own energy now. And I understand not to fight my own energy nor fight anyone else's. And I understand it's not about me desiring change. It is what do we feel through the energies, through the body, that cues us in that something needs to shift. And so rather than let's arrive, let's see, and then let's sort of work backwards, it's about we are arriving with that intention to shift already within us, because that's just who we are. We are alchemical beings. We are transmutational beings. That is how energy works. When we embody and understand that, that is where that empowerment comes from. So it's about a different way of relating to our own energy. So being connected in yourself first and foremost. And actually that is the only thing that really matters here. So we're going to start this sequence over here. So we'll just clear and then re-enter the fields with this connection intact. Through you, through your human. So feeling this in the left ribs. So before we come into the field, then let's address this through the body. Okay, there's a good release at the base of the left side of the spine and into the base of the right side of the brain. So tending to your energy first, aligning, clearing through the vision, clearing through the back of the brain here, just clearing up these toxins. Good, coming back into your own field. It almost feels as if there has been something that was being done here to cause you to feel uncomfortable in your own energy. So wherever the Hoshai, another energy field, has desired control, the Koshai, and it doesn't necessarily have to be to control you or to have control over, but it's a perspective of, if I can control things outside of me, I will feel safe, I will feel better, I will have what I need. So it's an inverted energy driver. It's an inverted driver in the energy field. And that really does almost scramble. Creates this feeling of static and discomfort. So there is something about this driver or this perspective, because it really is a perspective through the human as well, or it becomes a perspective through the human. We can shift our perspective through the human in order to engage sort of the proper position of this, which is that it begins within me. If I am in proper alignment, that emanates out. So this inverted driver, which says, if I control the external, it will affect my internal. Is dropping out. This is no longer able to be operated through. In fact, it causes at this point what looks like cellular disruption. So feeling sick when we try to work from the outside in, it's going to cause this sense of disease. Okay, so we'll bring the light through here, through the ranges to clear. And so wherever then we have engaged with or been engaged with these types of functions, these energies that function in this way, where we have assimilated to that, so started to sort of take on that way of operating, and let's open through the DNA, open through the lineage, and we're even opening through the energetic ranges, so your energetic lineage as well, finding these points where the field became skewed, this sort of instruction set, or this driver, assimilated into your energy field and your consciousness. It's also important to mention here that this may feel at this point like, wow, this is so much work. Like, why do I have to focus on this? And maybe others around you, you're not seeing them sort of have an awareness or a sense of it, where this feels like a bit of a burden to be aware and feeling this. Yet what's really going on is this is a precursor to Charakosha. It's a clearing that's happening in advance of this being removed, because once it is removed, it's going to be much more challenging. It's going to feel much more uncomfortable to have to switch over or figure this out. How to not work through that inverted perspective, of external to internal. So this is really preparing the fields for a more smoother transition. Jara ota I shishi. So we also want to look within the mind and within the brain where that pattern of thinking that I am being targeted, this is hard, why do I have to work harder than others? Why am I feeling this more? Jara koshai, this is such a burden. Actually, you receive these pre-advancement. Otherwise, this drag in your field starts to happen, that you are resistant to this shift. It's sort of like when tickets go on sale, right? Pre-sale or advanced ticket sales. Then you can sit back and not worry about it. You've already secured your ticket. You've already secured your passage through this. So, but it takes being a bit more vigilant, right? To watch for the dates, to make sure that you purchase the ticket, to make sure that you have all that in order before that sort of general assembly occurs. It's the same thing here. It's being proactive. And yet, understanding this is also strengthening your energy field. If you can adapt and adopt this way of viewing your experience here, really, these are insights into how we will have to operate within our human in the future, without a doubt. The sooner that we can adjust and move into this way of being, the better off we're going to be. We're actually going to be ahead of the game. Right now, it feels like maybe there's a drag because there's more initial work involved in a sense of being aware of it when it's not maybe absolutely required. And yet, the payoff in the end is much greater than what might feel a bit uncomfortable right now. So there is a big clearing in the brain matter. So we're really going to bring in the lavender tones here to clean up. When something becomes outdated in the energy field, it really can become toxic because it can't be reassimilated or reabsorbed into the field any longer. So there has to be that sort of shedding and clearing awareness and understanding as well. So when you start to feel a bit sluggish, it isn't to say, what am I doing wrong? Or what's happening? It's we do need this regular maintenance or clearing out of these outdated components here. So it also seems like the human mind is not quite online or aware or maybe even willing to accept that maintenance of your energy field is going to be important. And it's different. It's more than just clearing chakras. It's really feeling what you are knowing and believing and trusting that, and working with that. Which means that if someone else, let's say for example, clears their energy field in a particular way, if it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't feel right to you, if you feel to be doing something different, that's what you need to be doing. And also at the same time, to not allow other people's perspectives or even perhaps opinions to affect your trust in yourself. And if it's maybe not quite right for you, what you're feeling or intuiting, you will know that. You will figure that out. You will learn that as you go. But most important, to know how to converse with your energy. To learn to trust. Because this is the piece, and we're feeling this in the base of the spine now. This is definitely chokoya, this juncture here in the lower chosha I chohoya pelvic range within the hips. We've been working here for quite a while. Tarakosha I. This is where the power had been stripped through chakoya takaya shashi, past rituals, charakoya chashi I. And more than rituals, though, it was really the mind control of teaching you how to distrust yourself. Tarakosha I. We feel this on the right side now very strongly here. Charakosha I. Almost as if it's scraping inside the bone here. Charaoya takasha I. It was a quite invasive energy, tarakosha I, but that was the purpose of it. Charakosha I chasha I chahoya. Where you felt, well, where you were actually infiltrated, where your energy was actually infiltrated in order to control it, and yet also this range, which is more important at the mental level. Tarakakasha I chahoya. These tactics, tarakosha, which trained your mind to manipulate itself in very specific ways in order to look for external approval, which means then if you're looking for approval from the external, you're going to start seeking external, which means then in order to feel safe, you do start to look to the external, which means that you are actually then learning how to manipulate the external or to control the external in order to feel safe inside, in order to feel validated inside. I don't want to go as far as to say like this is like black magic, or manipulating energy, but in a sense it is. So we were actually taught how to manipulate energy in a not good way. That was actually the intention in the design. So we could even say, we've been using a sort of, this term is probably not the best, it's black magic, right? But it is tarakosha I. It's negative intentions. It has negative intentions. Tarakokosha I. So we learned to utilize a negative system or an inverted system, tarakosha I, in order to live in this reality. Tarakoya, and this is strongly coming to the surface here. Chara I, darakasha I, charakoya daki chahoya. In fact, what I'm feeling about this weekend, so it feels like these 3 days, tarakosha I, chahoya takaya, tarakosha I, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for some reason, there was an intention to trigger energy fields in order to sort of re-up this external pool, where we go external, where we seek external, where we grab energy external to try to manipulate it and control it. Of course, that's subconscious, right? But, I mean, it can be conscious at some point. We need to understand consciously that that's really what's happening. But there was this push to cause that, to recharge. There's almost like a drainage here. It's coming to its very end. It's being completely drained. And yet the fields are so strong now that they really resisted that, right? So this sort of lethargic energy that's here, is actually a great sign, because it means that instead of reacting to this trigger to your field, this charge to your field to cause you to invert your energy, it dissipated. And maybe you felt like you couldn't do anything or didn't have full access to your field in some way, or just sort of a low energy even. I get this feeling of like just sort of being suspended, just sort of waiting for this thing to pass almost. Like that is actually a good thing. And it's a sign that the fields are not hooked in any longer. Oya, so clearing through the base of the brain and into the lower ranges of the hips. Let's open through the horizontals here on the back side of the field. Into the base of the spine again, into actually right through the lower back. up into the base of the heart, into the front of the chest, and along the neck, all around the back, the sides of the neck. Tarahoshashi, we're bringing in light forces here, opening up the kasha, the cellular ranges to start to release these codes here. Charakosha, chakoya. And really these codes that survived through dysregulation, that survived on dysregulation. Charakoya takasha. Good. The I, opening through the mind channels. Big reconnection to Mother Energy here. And then opening to these supportive ranges through the father tones as they simply rest and hold space as a presence within your field. As you clear and sort these memories, releasing all of the memories where you had fallen under control, where your energy field was utilized, for purposes beyond your true desires, beyond your origin, chara oya. Da I shishishino koya da kai chashai. Tara I shishishino koya da koya chashai. And while the intention is always to be within your alignment, within your integrity, tarakoshai, to not cause any more harm, charakokoshai, to no longer create these ripples of static tones, tarakashai, tarakoshai, through your presence here, chara okokoshai, choya. At the same time, we do have to let go, tarakoshai, of those energies where we may have been concerned with what others think of us, how they perceive us, if there are past interactions, tarakoshai, that we have upset around, tarakoya daki, as we clear through our alignment and come into this range of being within our alignment, operating from our alignment, tarakoshai chokoya. We also have to let go of those old trajectories, tarakakashai chokoya. We smooth those energy ripples, tarakoshai, from the center of your field, tarakakashai charakoya, taraki chohoya. And the best that we hope for is that they are felt, that they are received, tarakoshai, but to know that you are no longer contributing to that, charakokoshai, because what we're seeing is that to resolve things through the physical, tarakoshai, if this integral alignment is not met, tarakokoshai chohoya, it can cause more static, atakashai chohoya, and your field can no longer tolerate that. So it's about sending your energy out first. Again, we talked about this in the beginning, right? Your energy precedes you, tarakoshai. So where it feels like there are unresolved tarakoshai conflicts, maybe even a lot of grief and pain, heart pain, tarakoshai chohoya, around things that have occurred in this lifetime, tarakokoshai chashai, tarakoshai. I am sure we will see this start to smooth out and build, tarakoshai, the repair of that. But for now, it's to know, tarakashai chohoya daki, work it energetically, and leave it be for this time. And this is because it's not that other energy fields may be somehow more angry or aggressive or not open to resolving. It's that all of this energy, this inverted way of operating, is coming to the surface. So it's almost like raw. It's so present right now. So it takes way less to sort of poke that wound or to cause that wound to be painful. So we have to use the utmost caution. We have to be super aligned and stable in our energy if we are hoping to approach a wound or a pain of the past that involves another person. And that's not, again, it's not personal to you. It's that these things are so right at the surface. So raw. And this is not necessarily that, oh, we're going to see a lot more people exploding and angry and just losing their cool. It's at a different level. It's in the emotional body within the cellular range, which, as we were mentioning earlier, this disease, right? So there's something about, it may not flare in the way of, oh, don't trigger that person because they're going to bite your head off. It's different. It's affecting the cellular body where it really could cause sickness, or illness in another, or accelerate it. Let's put it that way. So it's time to remove yourself, or for this time, it seems important to pull your energy back to pull back from that sense that you have to fix things. There is a very prevalent energy which is available to those who are seeking. It's now within the network. So let's say this concept of the fascia, right? Like if we use the body as an example, that fascia connects to every part of the body. It touches into everything. It's this magnificent network, right? There is a collective network. This energy was sent out. This repair, this energy of, if we desire to repair relationships, connections, energetic discord, that connectivity is available. It will most likely be a while before people start to pick up on this, but it's a collective healing range that has been installed. This bioavailability now. And in fact, what I'm getting is that if there is this sort of wounding sense that you feel between you and, let's just say, someone else, that is rising to the surface. They are feeling that. So rather than you tending to it and saying, hey, let's have this discussion or whatnot, it's actually better if you don't, because that wound will rise within them and it will cause them to seek. It will cause them to ask for relief. It's going to cause them, the chances of them reaching then for this bioavailable restructuring is greater than if you were to physically extend or reach out or whatever it might be, address this, only because the human system right now is so easily triggered. And at the same time, this is bioavailable, tarakosha-i, to the human form now, tarakasha-i, this restructuring. Kasha-i, use your best judgment, tarakasha-oya-chashiki. But if there's any chance that you feel something could flare, tarakasha-i chokoya, that there could be conflict, it's best to chohoya, allow that to rest for now. Tarakai chashai charakoya. Ja'ai taraki shashishisha. And in fact, what it feels like is, again, for example, if there is a situation or someone that you have a wound with, if they start to reach for you, the only way they can reach for you is through this restructuring. That energy is now in between you and their field. Tarakosha, it is in between your field and their field, which is actually quite beautiful, because the only way then we can reach one another, tarakasha I charokoya daki, or that they could reach you, charakokosha I, again, if we are in this alignment, right? Because then we could operate outside of this alignment. That's always a possibility. This is why we have to be careful that we are within this alignment. If you are within this alignment, if they go to reach for you, they must come through that restructuring, charakokosha-i, which is deeply healing. Tarakosha-i chakoya. And this is one of those instances where this is really one of the greatest forms of love. Tarakosha-i chahoya. I mean, there's only one form of love, energetically speaking, but through the human, tarakosha-i, this ability to see and understand and yet know it's for the highest good, tarakokosha-i, but yet also hold this recognition that you are in a place of releasing, of forgiveness, of openness, of healing, tarakokosha-i, holding that vision, tarakakasha-i chahoya, understanding each and every person, each and every energy field has that choice as well. Tarakosha-i, takasha-i, charakai, takosha-i. So injecting this as well into the fields. Tarakosha-i, this vision that as we reach out to resolve what has been unattended, what has been left open through pain and wounding, tarakai dokosha-i chahoya, this begins to shift through the restructuring, charakoya takai shashi, through the eternal emanations of Source, tarakai shashi, through which you embody tarakai kasha-i, your highest potentials, and allowing this to light up the base of your spine, feeling that through the front of your throat, into your glands, charakosha-i, the whole glandular system, clearing out, recognizing itself, tarakosha-i, feeling this earth recognition, this resurrection through the body, tarakakasha-oya, clearing through your position here. Tara o shashi shanaki chara oya dakai shashi. As it is so.